What is up guys, my name is Benji and welcome to the BenObi YouTube Tips series. A series where I teach you guys how to start your own YouTube channel and how to be successful on this beautiful platform called YouTube. So make sure you have a notepad and a pen with you to write down some of the things I will say in this series, so then you can start your own YouTube channel and be successful and maybe one day do it as a full-time job as well. So without any further ado, let's get into the video. Alright, welcome to part 2 of the series. In this part, we will actually be talking about YouTube equipment, what you can use as a camera, what you can use as a microphone, and all that jazz. So let's get into the video. So the first piece of equipment you will need, that is the most essential piece of equipment in my opinion, is the microphone. You will want to get a decent sounding microphone. You can get a ton of them on Amazon. There's some pretty good cheap ones as well. In fact, right now I'm using a Speedlink Clip-On lapel mic, which cost me like $8 or something like that. So super cheap, and it does work pretty well. A lot of people say that audio can make or break a video. So you can have terrible looking video, but if you have terrible audio, nobody's gonna watch your videos. If you have a good microphone, in most cases you can start a YouTube channel. A lot of YouTubers out there don't even show their faces in the videos. They just do a voiceover with some slideshows and all that kind of stuff. So the microphone is definitely the most essential part. So make sure you buy yourself a good sounding microphone. I do have a couple of recommendations which I will link in the description below. But yeah, definitely microphone. Make sure to get one, and don't use your in-camera microphone if you're using a camera, because they're most of the time, probably 80% of cameras, built-in microphones are terrible. So you don't want to be using them. Not even your phone's built-in microphone is good enough in most cases. I mean, I do sometimes occasionally use it for vlogs and stuff, but that is an exception. But if you're gonna do sit-down videos and stuff, make sure you have a good microphone. A clip-on lapel mic or even a shotgun mic should be good. So make sure you get a good microphone, because that is something that's gonna be very important when it comes to doing YouTube. And the second piece of equipment is super important as well. It's the camera. Now, the camera is not really something that you need to spend a lot of money on. In fact, a lot of people manage to start their YouTube channels and make YouTube videos just using their smartphones. And today we have smartphones with 4K cameras in them, and you can even get, for example, the iPhone SE, which is a super budget-friendly iPhone. It's like £350 here in the UK or something, and that has itself a 4K camera, and it also has a pretty decent front-facing camera. It records 1080p and everything. So make sure you get a camera that can record in HD at least, 720p at least. Do not go under that, because underneath 720p, nobody's gonna watch your videos, because they will look absolutely like, they'll look like a trash can. So make sure you have a good camera. This can be a smartphone camera. This can be an actual camera that may be lying around your house that does pretty decent video. So yeah, make sure your camera's good and you should be fine. And then the third piece of equipment you will need is lighting. Now, lighting is very essential and crucial to making YouTube videos, because if you have terrible lighting, people aren't gonna like how your videos look, so they won't subscribe and watch the rest of your video. Now, for example, right now I'm shooting outside and the lighting here is pretty okay. I mean, I could probably use a Softbox Light behind the camera to give me a little bit more light here, but normally if you're shooting outside, you won't really need any external lights, because usually the sun does light up your scene pretty well. And of course, if you're doing vlogs, lighting will not really matter that much, because you will be going around and you'll be filming everywhere. So that's a completely different story. But if you're gonna be doing videos like this indoors, then I do recommend getting a softbox light, or even just an LED panel or a couple LED panels, because lighting is very important in videos. It makes you look better on camera as well. And of course, it can also expose stuff on your face, but you know, lighting is very important when it comes to video. So this next piece of equipment isn't essential, but still I do recommend getting it just in case you may be filming videos somewhere where you need one. And that is a tripod. Now, tripods are super cheap these days. You can literally go to a dollar store or a pound store and get one. It's super cheap, and even on Amazon and eBay, you can find them for even less than $1. So I do recommend getting a tripod, and a tripod that I would recommend is a actual tall tripod, so not one of those short ones. that are like tiny that you can get in the pound store and dollar store and all that kind of stuff. I do recommend getting a taller one just because you can use the taller one in more situations. Unless, of course, you're not going to be showing your face in the video and you want to make, for example, let's say jailbreak videos or something, you can use one of those small tripods, set it on the table and have your hand in front of your phone or your camera. But still, I do recommend getting a taller tripod. I will link a couple of tripods in the description below, as well as some other equipment that I do personally use and I would recommend. So yeah, don't forget to check the description. And then the last piece of equipment you will need is an editing software. Now this is a must. I see a lot of people uploading videos to YouTube without actually editing the videos. And to be honest, they don't look good, okay? I'm just gonna tell you now, if you're one of those people who doesn't edit their videos, stop. Just stop it. And nowadays, editing softwares are so easy to get and so cheap as well. Like, why don't more people use editing softwares? A couple of editing softwares I can recommend on iPhone are iMovie. There's also LumaFusion, that's a good one. And if you're on Android, I will link a couple in the description below because I can't remember off the top of my head. But if you're on Windows, you can get things like DaVinci Resolve. You can get even Windows Movie Maker. A lot of people use Windows Movie Maker. A couple of people I know, they use them and they make pretty good videos. There's also, of course, Premiere Pro and those more expensive editing softwares. But if you're on Mac, you can also get iMovie, you can get DaVinci Resolve on there as well. And DaVinci Resolve, there are two versions. There's a free version and a paid version. From what I've heard, DaVinci Resolve does work very well. And you could also, if you have the money, get Final Cut Pro. That is what I personally use. Final Cut Pro 10 is the best editing software in my opinion. I have tried Premiere a couple of times. I'm not a massive fan of that. I have used iMovie for years as well. And I have tried some other editing softwares, but if you're on Mac, Final Cut Pro is the way to go, but it is expensive and I don't recommend using it if you are just starting out. And that is it for this part of the series. That is it for the equipment. Hopefully now you have a rough idea of what YouTube equipment to get and what not to get and stuff. Stay tuned for the next part of the series as I will be teaching you guys how to actually make your videos, like film them and set them up and stuff. So make sure you are subscribed with your notifications turned on so then you won't miss that episode. And of course, if you did enjoy this video and it was useful to you, make sure to smash that like button down below. And if you hated it and you didn't find it useful, that other button does work as well. But for now, guys, thank you so much for watching. My name is Benji and I'll catch you guys in the very next video.